Ladies and gentlemen, new dev insight for the Prismatic deep dive for our light and darkness subclasses has just came out, and we are going to be the most busted guardians in history for final shape. I can't believe what I'm reading here, so I wanted to make a whole video and break it down for you really quick. I'm not going to go over every single detail, but I figured chat told me they'd watch this and YouTube said they'd watch this, so you better be here watching and hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, because if not, there's a Lego waiting for you around the corner. You will step on it. Pinky toe confirmed. So the Prismatic Hunter, this is what it looks like. Yes, that is a stasis super with the abilities of a void hunter and a solar grenade, aspects of stasis and void all at once. Every single class can do this, but there's certain abilities that you can use. We're actually going to look at this chart. If you see all these abilities, I'm looking at something like combination blow with a hunter on solar. So if I can punch a lot of things and get my golden gun faster with like dynamo hands-on, plus using celestial nighthawk, it could be insane. But stylus executioner, pretty much every time you punch something, you're going to go invis. You're getting assassin's cowl, an exotic ability in just some of these simple changes. Moving on to Titan, they weren't going to give us the bonk hammer. We knew they weren't going to do that. So when I look at these abilities that we can use for melees, grenades, and aspects, consecration and frenzied blade. Can you imagine if you can get 3 at once? Frenzied blade gives you 3 melees. If you can have 3 consecrations up at all times, plus run a class item that's going to give you 2 exotic powers in 1 class, I mean, the possibility for builds like this, I'm looking at knockout, absolutely insane with this. I mean, build crafting is just going to go to a whole nother level. The Warlock, they did show this in the trailer yesterday before all the content went live. You can proc Devour with your Bleak Watcher turret with Feed the Void. So we already know that stasis turrets right now are busted, especially if you're running the exotic gauntlets. But to have healing on your stasis class is insane with Devour, because right now we're using like the crystals to get over shields and healing. But Feed the Void, Warlock's busted again. You guys can take off your wells now. Enjoy. So what is Transcendence? So when you deal light aligned damage with your light subclasses, you fill the light bar. When you deal darkness, you fill the dark bar. Kinetic damage fills both bars. Kinetic weapons are really good in the game, so you can fill both bars and get those abilities charged up even faster. When both bars are filled, Transcendence is available. While Transcendent is available, your melee and grenade entry is instantly refreshed and regenerate more quickly. So that's kind of busted. When you deal damage with a grenade, it further increases your melee regeneration rate, vice versa. Your weapon damage is slightly increased. I'm very intrigued about that. Are we going to get 10%, 20%, 15%? And you also are more resistant to incoming damage. I don't know how Bungie's going to give us all this broken stuff and still survive in content. In addition to these boosts, while you're Transcendent, you'll have an available new grenade for each class. It's going to deal both light and dark damage types. Hunter is going to get the Hailfire Spike. You throw a device charged with stasis matter and solar energy that attaches to surfaces or targets and then erupts into a slowing storm. After a short duration, the device ignites, creating a deadly scorched cyclone. That sounds busted. Titan, electrified snare. Throw an explosive device energized with strand matter and arc energy that detonates into a supercharged suspending burst. You're going to be suspending stuff with this. The suspended target takes heavy damage over time and chains jolt lightning to any nearby target. Man. Warlock, a freezing singularity. Throw a mass of void energy and stasis matter. On impact, it deploys a miniature black hole orbited by a halo of slowing ice. And a short duration, the black hole implodes, suppressing and dealing heavy damage to all nearby targets. I think we've seen that one in the trailer too. That one's busted. Here's where things get absolutely crazy. With Prismatic, from day 1 of the final shape, you'll be able to find or earn a total of 21 fragments, a sizable bump over the typical 14 to 16. Some of these are like literally exotic changes. So some of these cool fragments are going to be pretty much like an exotic. I see one right here, just like conditional. Facet of Ruin increases the size of the damage of the burst when you shatter a stasis crystal or frozen target, and increases the size of the solar ignitions. Facet of Purpose, picking up an orb of power, grants either amplified restoration. Frost armor is that new damage resist against stasis. I'm really excited about that. Woven mail and overshield based on the damage type of your equipped super. The fact that it's going to give us all those depending on the super is going to be pretty bunch busted. Facet of Protection, while surrounded by enemies, you are more resistant to incoming damage, so more punchy build damage resist. I'll take it. Facet of Justice, while Transcendent, your ability final blows explode. I'm interested to see that one because we use a lot of ability punchy builds, just like Combination Blow and Bonk Hammer. Facet of Hope, well, you have an elemental buff. Your class ability regenerates more quickly. Facet of Grace, damaging targets with a kinetic weapon grants you Transcendent Energy. Defeating targets with your super grants you and your nearby allies bonus Transcendent Energy. Facet of Generosity, defeating targets while Transcendent creates orbs of power for your allies. I don't know why it's not for you though. Facet of Dominance, your Void Grenades weaken and Arc Jolts. Gonna be good for champions. Facet of Defiance, finishers create a detonation that either jolts, scorches, slows, severs, or makes targets volatile based on the damage of your equipped super. That one's gonna be really good too. Facet of Dawning, powered melee hits against targets make you radiant. Powered melee final blows make both you and your nearby allies radiant. So a little bit better than torches. Facet of Bravery, defeating targets with grenades grants volatile rounds for your void weapons. Defeating targets with powerful melees. Final blows grants unraveling rounds to your strand weapons. So you can do like a little bit of both. I wonder if you can just switch from one to another. Facet of Balance, rapidly defeating targets with light damage grants melee energy. Rapidly defeating targets with dark damage grants grenade energy. This is kind of ability overload. Like, I don't even know what I'm seeing right now. Everything that I saw yesterday and today, just seeing all this, we're gonna break the game. Everyone should start realizing that you should be paying attention to your builds right now and being very, very knowledgeable on what each subclass does, and start studying your fragments, because the fact that we're gonna be able to use some of this stuff in final shape as a guardian, I got a feeling that the content's gonna be very hard. Or we steamroll it. Root of Nightmares all over again. We'll find out. Ready to challenge the gods. We've already shared some details about Pantheon, the new PvE challenge that'll start on April 30th. It involves a gauntlet of raid boss encounters currently available in the game, but also a few twists on how to approach them. We are keeping some details close in the chest, including the list of enemies that you will face. But since you are all eager to know more about it, the goal of Pantheon is to relive those incredible and heroic moments that raids are to deliver. We are also changing the expect from some of the encounters many of you also know pretty well. Prepare to be nimble, adapt your strategies, or throw them out the window, and your fire team will be successful. Pantheon will increase in scale and difficulty each week, starting with 4 bosses in the first one and growing into 8 in a row on May 21st. Each time a new boss is added, the active modifiers will rotate and the power cap will change, starting with players at 5 below, all the way up to contest mode. We're gonna be doing contest raid encounters on May 21st. Holy, we've been waiting for that. We've been waiting for a difficulty modifier to relive it, but they time gated it. That's a Bungie special right there, but it's all good. It's all good. The community has always talked about being able to activate contest mode whenever you want. So this is dub. As difficulty goes up, so does the pool of available rewards. You can get the adept raid weapons, deep sight versions of the raid weapons, and even exotic weapons. Some rewards are weekly and others are like the pursuits or triumphs, like our 4 new emblems. But you will also depend on your performance. We challenge you to complete each encounter before the bonus timer expires to get a platinum score and the greatest rewards. When April 30th arrives, we hope you have trained and prepared yourselves, Guardians. Checks will have the quest, and you'll need to start your journey to become a God Slayer. That's the title waiting for the champions that conquer Pantheon. Oh, we are cooking. Updating the HUD, Juicy Juice, new buff channels. On the final shape, we've created 2 new areas on the HUD where modifiers can appear. Critical info top center. Weapon channel above super meter. Oh my god, they're actually doing it. They're actually doing it. We're gonna get buffs above our super bar, so we're not seeing the stuff on the left hand side. If you guys are wondering, the pool of reclaimed light and the healing rift, there's only 4 UIs there, and we never know if we're radiant or we have bait and switch. Now we're gonna find out above our super bar. All right, that's 2 things that they listen to us about. We're in the kitchen right now. Critical info. The modifiers that appear are important for successfully completing the current activity. This includes white mechanics rolls, deep sight crypt operator roll, and other special mechanics. Yes. Weapons, you'll find oh my god, you're gonna have weapon perks. Look at that, weapon perks, 1 for all. Oh man, finally, dude. Because dude, there's sometimes in your rotations of damage, you never know if stuff's proc. There's gonna be the highest priority for the buffs. These are buffs that guide your playing activity, so those are the most important. Then it'll go to buffs that are required to play your build, and then it'll go subclass verbs such as, you know, aspects and fragments. So these are all the buff UI changes. Amazing. Our green buffs and red debuffs now have a thick line weight on top of our bottom, respectfully, making them easier for colorblind players to read. Nice. So you got a plus sign for healing. Oh man, nice. Let me know what you guys think about this. There was a lot. I had to go over everything, but chat bullied me into this. Thanks for watching, and can't wait to do some theory crafting with all the builds on June 4th.